Fear is probably the number one reason why when you recruit somebody, or even why you don't recruit more directs, you're afraid, all right? Even if you've been in the business a long time, still you have fear. You have fear of rejection, you have fear of looking stupid, you have fear of coming across pushy. You have a lot of fears. Fear kind of like really hurts you more than you possibly can imagine. It really, really prevents you from what you could be and what you could do. And it's always a fear issue, right? So fear is probably the biggest stumbling block. And by the way, fear for the people that you recruit is their stumbling block. Why don't they do more? Like, how come I can't get my people to do more, right? I mean, that's always an issue for us, right? Well, the reason that they don't do more is because they're afraid. And the reason that they have a lot of fear is because they lack, I should put that, skill and knowledge. So skill and knowledge is lack of skill and knowledge creates more fear. So if, why don't people invite people, or why don't even people recruit people? One of the main reasons people don't recruit people is because they go, if I recruit them, I don't even know what I'm doing. So how am I going to train them if I don't even know what I'm doing? I don't know all the answers. I don't know how to overcome all the objections. I don't know how the products work. I don't really know how to prospect. I don't know how to set appointments. I don't know how. They're not saying this to you, okay? They don't say this. But that's what they're thinking, and that's what affects their behavior, okay? So it's always that. So they're afraid. So the reason, if you follow me on Twitter at Hector LaMarque, or you listen to my weekly calls, or you've been around me a long time, I am always constantly talking about personal development, right? I don't ever let up on that. Most people don't do it, but I never stop talking about it. And the reason, and even the people that I help that did become successful, one of the things that I impart to them is personal development. Listen to Hopkins, listen to John Maxwell, or going to seminars, listening to audios, reading books. In fact, I'm going to talk about a couple articles and stuff. I'm always doing that. The reason I'm always doing that, because I know, beyond a shadow of a doubt, if I could get you to raise your skill level, increase your knowledge, your fear is going to go down, and you're going to automatically do more. Right? So if that's true with you, it's really true with new people. It's even more true with new people, which is why that's why I don't believe in motivation. If you will, I'm anti-motivation, because I think it's a really kind of a waste of time and energy over time, because you can move somebody, you could run a contest this week and you can get them excited for this week or this month. Maybe you're going to take them to a movie and a dinner or whatever it is you're going to do for the contest. And the contest, nothing wrong with running contests, but long range contests isn't what gets somebody to want to do something big. Contests aren't the key. It's really the training that's the key. It's getting people confidence, getting people feeling like they can do it because they have the skills to do it. And what happens when you train them, their skill grows, their knowledge grows. What happens, they start going on appointments, and if they're prospecting and going on appointments, they're closing more transactions, they're recruiting more people, they can train people, and they start believing they can become an RVP, that they can become successful. It's also, this is the key to getting anybody going full-time, too. So you want a lot of full-time agents? You better spend an enormous amount of energy training people, increasing their skills, increasing their knowledge, because you're never going to get people to go full-time until they feel confident that they can do it. They won't do it, right? Every one of you who's an RVP, you went full-time as soon as something clicked. You had enough experience, you had enough success personally, right, that you go, I think I could do this. I think I could do this as a living. I think I could make enough money to pay, to take care of my family or whatever. That's when you go full-time. Nobody goes full-time. You can't talk somebody going to full-time just because you want them to go full-time. They have to believe that they're going to be successful if they go full-time. And if they don't have a decent skill and knowledge level, they're never going to go full-time. You want more full-timers, right, Daniel? You better be spending an enormous amount of energy training people. That's how I got so many people to go full-time. I got their skill level and their knowledge up. When that went up, then they went full-time. It's also how I got a lot of people to go RVP. You're saying, I can't produce an RVP. Well, I promise you're never going to produce RVPs unless they feel their skill and knowledge is adequate for them to become one. They're not even going to go for it. Why would they? Who's going to try to be an RVP that doesn't believe they can be an RVP? Who's going to go through the numbers and all the stuff, the crap you have to go to be an RVP if you don't really believe it? Nobody attempts anything that they don't feel reasonably sure they're going to have some success. They don't do it. They won't. It's human nature. So I know the only way I can get people to do more is to increase their skill and knowledge. I've always known that. That's why I'm talking about it all the time. That's why I think when I was talking on Friday, the training should be on exactly how you do it, so that they can see that those of you who have success, those of you who close lots of transactions, they can see what you do is not magic. It's a system that you have. Every one of you has a system like when you go on an appointment. Those of you, if you're an RVP, you know what you're doing. You have a system, whatever it is, and everybody's is a little bit different, but you have one. One of the things, you don't have to do my system, but whatever your system is, you better be teaching that system very clearly to the people within your team so that they can do more, whatever that is. And you want them doing it as close to exactly as you do it as humanly possible, because if you're having great success, right? Like Daniel, if you go across the kitchen table, you're in a great market, you know in a good market, your closing ratio's got to be 8, 9, 10 out of 10. It's got to be really, really high. So I always thought, okay, that's how mine was too. So if I'm in a good market, I'm closing a very high percentage of those people, right? So if I can transfer the skill and knowledge so that people can have very close to the same results I'm having, are they more likely to stay or less likely to stay? A lot more. Why? Because they're making money. In the end, all the people that you have quit, they quit because they don't make money. So if you have a revolving door in your business, it's because you suck at training people and teaching them how to make money. You might not like me saying that, but I guarantee you are not paying enough attention to how to transfer that skill and knowledge in a way that people get. You can say, well, I covered that at the meeting. I'm covering that at the meeting. What's wrong with these people? It's not what's wrong with these people, right? What's wrong is how you're transferring that information. You may think you're transferring it, right? But unless people are actually grasping it and doing more and closing more sales and growing, you're not. No matter what you think, the way we know that we're transferring the information clearly is that we start getting these people to actually do something, right? So whenever somebody wasn't doing something, I was showing up, I always thought it was me. I need to get more clear at transferring this information. I got to make sure they're doing it just like me.